not get done this session was any meaningful attempt to deal with the uninsured problem in this state. We know what we don't like. We don't want to expand Medicaid. That became clear. Jeff Leach the other night pulled kind of a late in the game kind of maneuver. It's not exactly a walk-off home run, but he did definitely drive in a go-ahead run, at least in terms of making it so that Medicaid is not going to be expanded in the legislature attached to HB 7. Do we have any solution we know we don't like? What do we like? We come out of the session no closer to solving the problem of the uninsured crisis in the state than we did going in. Chairman, what's next now since we didn't do anything?
I mean, we like a Texas solution, and we like sort of a block grant approach.
Right. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I think it means that less federal oversight, less federal decision making. Let the states decide, and so to me, that should be a negotiation that goes on between our leadership, the governor, and the CMS and the Obama administration, and at some point, if the federal government is willing to come up with a proposal that works for states, then yeah, I think there's a discussion. But I think there's a look. This Affordable Care Act is turning it. You see leading Democrats now realizing that the price is completely out of control.
And yet at the same time, Mr. Chairman, you just had Governor Branstad of Iowa yesterday as the latest Republican governor who flipped his position on expanding Medicaid. He finally said, I relent, I'm going to take it. Is there an incentive with so many states moving in the direction of expanding? Is there an incentive for the Obama administration to change its approach simply to bring Texas to the table?
Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see.
You're optimistic that there's a way to get that money without all that's required of it as of right now?
I wouldn't say, don't count me as optimistic, but I think we ought to negotiate. Governor Perry and his team, we ought to negotiate.
And now apparently the legislature is going to be in that meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as it should be, but I think we ought to stick to our values and the approaches that have made our state a great economy, and not surrender those to a program that I think everyone is starting to realize on both sides of the aisle is a massive, misunderstood, highly burdensome approach to a serious problem.
What are we going to do, Mr.
Well, first I want to be fair, then I want to go hard on this, okay? I'm going to be fair and say, if the resource infrastructure challenge was, can we do water before roads, then I believe on the human infrastructure part is, can we fix schools or restore school funding before we do Medicaid?
Right.
And so in this issue, we chose water.
Chose to do
schools.
education.
Yeah.
That being said, we can flip this all around. If we want to have a state health care program and done on Texas terms and have the Texas solution, let us provide the $9 for every dollar we get from the federal government. We can reverse that. And we can have absolute control. We can do whatever we want to do because it's our money, our rules.
But we have to pay for it.
But if you want the federal government's money,
we're paid for it.
if you want the federal government's money, well, hey, guess what? You have to follow the rules. When my kids want to get a DVD because they've been good, they have to follow the rules at the house. I mean, this is no different. This is a simple exercise. But the question is, and we've seen wonderful models in Oregon done by Republican governors that are actually working. And by the way, they have a very successful mail ballot program too. And so we need to look at this and say, are we going to? There's 6 million Texans uninsured. That's unacceptable. We can put 1.5 million Texans in insurance by expanding Medicaid, and even the economists have said this creates jobs, this lowers unemployment, and we're talking about real jobs. We're talking about jobs that pay real wages. And when have you ever seen the Chamber of Commerce community, the religious community, and politicals coming together saying this is something that needs to be done? I mean,
but in the end, you don't have the votes for it.
We don't have the votes for it, but it doesn't mean that we give up.
Right.
We didn't have the votes for education, 28 days into the session, and we took a budget that put $3.9 billion in it.
So you keep pressing on this.
I think this becomes a new opportunity to leverage when we find that we have to cross the aisle and come together on a big vote.
Okay, couple.